Gary Neville has sparked controversy after suggesting that middle-aged white men putting up Union Jacks are dividing Britain. Comments made in the wake of a terror attack at a synagogue in Manchester. The Sky Sports pundit expressed frustration at what he described as division in his home city, following the Islamist attack which left 2 men dead and several others injured. But his remarks, turning criticism towards white men displaying the national flag, have drawn sharp backlash online.
That we're all being turned on each other, and the division that's being created is absolutely disgusting. Mainly created by angry, middle-aged white men who know exactly what they're doing. Funnily enough, on one of my development sites last week, there was a Union Jack flag put up, and I took it down instantly. And some people might be watching this and thinking, well, Gary, you're not very patriotic. I played for my country 85 times. I love my country. I love Manchester and I love England. But I've been building in this city for 15, 20 years, and there's no one put a Union Jack flag up in the last 15 to 20 years, so why do you need to put one up now? Because quite clearly it's sending a message to everybody that there is something you don't like. The Union Jack flag being used in a negative fashion is not right. And I'm a proud supporter of England, of Great Britain, of our country, and we're championing it anywhere in the world as being one of the greatest places to live. But I think we need to check ourselves. We need to check ourselves and sort of start to think about bring ourselves back to a neutral point, because we're being pulled right and left, and we don't need to be pulled right and left at all. I've always said this about, I played in a football team with a group of people from Manchester, a group of people from Ireland, Wales, Scotland, but also people from Africa, people from Asia, people from America, people from Europe, and we were a beautiful team, united as one. Brexit has had a devastating impact on this country, and the messaging is getting dangerous, extremely dangerous. All these idiots that are out there spreading hate speech in any form and abuse in any form, we must stop promoting them. We must stop elevating our voices towards them. It needs to stop now and get back to a country of love, of peace, of harmony, and become a team again.
Neville said he felt disgusted at what he called angry middle-aged white men who know exactly what they're doing. He revealed he had even taken down a Union Jack from one of his property developments, questioning why such flags were being put up now. Labour's Faith and Communities Minister has backed Gary Neville, saying he was right to raise concerns about angry middle-aged white men sowing division in society, and asked if Neville had a point. She said, "I think he's really right, that there are people who are trying to divide us at the moment." The attack happened during Yom Kippur, Judaism's holiest day. Police say 2 Jewish men, 53-year-old Adrian Dolby and 66-year-old Melvin Kravitz, were killed when an attacker rammed a car towards the synagogue before launching a knife assault. Officers fatally shot the suspect, identified as 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami, a British citizen of Syrian origin. Jewish residents have since gathered in solidarity with extra police patrols deployed across North Manchester. But while many in the community responded with unity and resilience, Neville focused on those displaying the Union Jack, symbols which, for many, represent togetherness at moments like this. He insists he loves his country and wants Britain to be, quote, a team again. Though some have questioned whether criticising ordinary people for showing pride in their flag is the way to get there. For some, the Union Jack is a source of comfort and solidarity. For Gary Neville, it seems a source of division. Guests on GB News have recently discussed this topic.
GB News presenter Matt Goodwin and former editor of Labour List Peter Edwards in the studio. And let's start with this story about Gary Neville, another footballer getting involved in politics. Peter, what do you make of his flag intervention?
I think Gary Neville's done a lot to regenerate Manchester, and he's done a lot to kind of hold Labour's feet to the fire. I think what this shows is perhaps the perils of trying to cover such a complex issue in 2 or 3 minutes while walking down the high street or one of the high streets in Manchester, because many of us are patriotic, and Gary Neville played 85 times for his country, so he can't be faulted for patriotism. We also know that displays of both the St George's Cross and the Union flag and other flag have been hijacked to a certain extent by a small number of people on the far right. But to try and cover all that in 3 minutes at a time when political tensions are quite high is a bit tricky, and I'm still not totally sure what Gary Neville's saying beyond calm down.
Well, shall we have a listen to what he actually said?
All being turned on each other, and the division that's being created is absolutely disgusting. Mainly created by angry, middle-aged white men who know exactly what they're doing.
Peter, you said there, he played for England, so that makes him patriotic. I don't think it does. I don't think that's a measure of patriotism, if I'm being honest. I think a man who pulls down a Union flag, though, from a building because he thinks it's somehow divisive, Matt, is actually a demonstration of how patriotic he might be.
So I think a lot of people in British politics are gaslighting the country. He said that flying the flag is disgusting. What's disgusting is imposing mass uncontrolled immigration on a country that never voted for it, that is forcing people to live with broken borders and then charging them £15 billion for the privilege of doing so. And when they talk, be very clear about this, when they talk about hijacking the flag, what they never say is that actually the flag is being hijacked by people who want to turn Britishness and Englishness merely into the celebration of diversity and multiculturalism. And when they say we want to reclaim the flag, what they mean is they want to reshape who we are around the celebration of bland, universal themes like diversity, whereas actually everyone watching this show, everyone out there in the country knows that flying the flag is about saying, no, we do have a distinctive identity of our own. We are proud to celebrate that identity, history and collective memory. And what it is ultimately is an act of resistance. That is what flying the flag has become today. Resisting mass uncontrolled immigration, resisting broken borders, resisting this never-ending attempt to dilute who we are and reshape it around words that, to be frank, don't really mean anything at all.
Peter, what do you make of his accusation that this is a lot of angry, middle-aged white men who know exactly what they're doing?
First of all, I want to push back on what Matt said a bit. Let's not use the word gaslighting. That's more akin to something you get in a domestic abuse court case. I think that's a wrong word to use in this context. In terms of Gary Neville, I'm a white middle-aged man, hopefully not an angry one, and there's one or two white middle-aged men in this studio. I think it goes to this point.
Was that a thinly going jab at Matt, was it?
No, I didn't say angry. I just said a white middle-aged man.
Maybe it was me.
Actually, I am angry. I'm angry with the state of the country, and gaslighting is the perfect word for it, because you know what gaslighting is defined as? It is presenting an alternative perception of reality that is not grounded in reality. And that is what this Labour government's doing. It's what Gary Neville is doing. People out there should be able to fly their national flag, because those same people tell us that we have to fly every other flag, right? Pride flags, BLM flags, Palestine
Matt, isn't it
flags,
just the case that
except our own national flag.